Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Yo, we talk about lightsabers, stunning your TV screens, what you want to stream, everything beyond your dreams. Want to talk about movies, sports, or even politics? Go ahead and tune into us. We'll give you all of it. Whatever you're debating, Xbox or PlayStation, Marvel or DC, Mac or PC. Teraflops when the movie drops, gigabytes, chips, RAM, no matter what it is, we got all of it. Welcome to the show.
Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Welcome to Nerds Talking the Podcast. I'm Johnny. I'm here with Carlos and Lafayette. You guys just came back from LA Comic-Con. Why don't you guys talk a little bit about that? How was it? Did you see anything cool? Carlos, let's start with you. You had to fly down there. Are you over your fear of flying? Were you still scared? Do you still have hesitations?
No, I still have hesitation, man. On the flight back, actually, I sat at the bar and had myself a double rum and coke to try to calm the nerves.
Did that help?
No, absolutely not.
All right.
The only thing that helped was like, hey, this is a brand new airplane. No troubles there, right? So it was a new plane. But then I kept thinking, because I'm so paranoid, I kept thinking in my head the news report was going to be, oh, craft was only in service for a couple months before it went down. Like,
right. Wouldn't that be
right.
shitty? Because, like, all the planes have like tail numbers or whatever. But what if they had version numbers? Like the first version of the Samsung Galaxy like blew up on people's, in people's hands. Like, what if you had the Samsung 1.1 in planes? Yeah, you're like, oh shit, the tail just falls off.
Yeah, no shit. The only thing it had more legroom though. That was a plus.
I think if the plane crashed, don't worry, you won't know about it. You won't have to worry about follow up on the news.
No, I
cool
disagree.
Story, bro, because you'll know about it as it fucking goes down.
No, but you had it like the plane crashed after only 3 months of service. Well, you won't know that.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
You just said that the plane will go down after 3 months of service, as if they're going to report that. You will be on the plane. You won't know the reason why it went down or anything.
People survive.
No one survived. Come on, who survives big plane crashes?
There was a movie. There was a movie.
Not every plane crash is a big plane crash.
It was called Barbecue on the Side of the Mountain. I ate my friends. Remember that one?
Little planes crash.
Alive.
Alive. And
or that Denzel one where he flipped the plane upside down and only one person died.
And he was high as fuck.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Cocaine.
What was that one called? That's the one Denzel movie I just like. I didn't get to watch it. It was called Flight. Yeah.
Flight. There you go.
That's right.
And the other one, the Nicolas Cage one, where he could predict the end of shit.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Con Air. Bro, you done?
No, a plane came and basically did a cartwheel in front of him, broke in half. Then all these people were running out of it and catching fire because there was fire on the outside. Like,
you're talking about the movie that's like religious, right? The one based on the Kirk Cameron books or whatever.
No, you're talking about Left Behind.
Oh, Left Behind, yeah.
No, that's a Kirk Cameron movie. That's not a Nick Cage movie.
No, Nick Cage remade that movie.
Oh, he did. Yeah, but that's not the one I'm talking about. It's the one where he could like predict shit. He saw numbers and turns out the numbers were coordinates, not dates.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
that was before his direct-to-video career.
That was like one of his. That's one of his last big movies.
Yeah.
Because that one totally sucked.
With his son, it had something to do with his son, and the aliens were coming for him at the end, or something weird like that, right? And the black pebbles around his house. But yeah, surviving. I don't know if you like the whole. It's funny because I used to think, on the card, or if you're going down, they want you to put your head between your legs
and just kiss your ass goodbye. That's what it's for.
Try to suck your dick one last time.
I thought it was because,
when was the first time?
You're gonna break your neck on impact, right?
It would be the first time.
So maybe it's to put you out of your misery quickly. But then as I'm sitting there in the chair, I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm putting my head down there. I can't barely fit my fat ass in this fucking seat. I'm gonna put my legs. I'm just gonna watch the front of the plane and see if the flames come towards me.
I don't remember what movies that I've seen. Like there's a handful of examples, but like they were strapped in, people were strapped in, and there's total chaos. But then like they're buckled in, and then the fucking seat just flies out. I'm like, I never even thought of that. Fuck. And so like for probably a couple of years after I saw one of those movies, I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna die. Yeah.
I never understood why planes don't have huge parachutes that maybe come from the nose or even if it just slows it down and carries it down to, even if it's a hard landing. I mean,
I don't know, that's gonna be a big ass parachute.
no, I know,
Yeah.
but it's the chances of being used are less than 1%. But still, would you rather have that as your?
Could
you
you
know.
imagine you get that one dumbass like co-pilot and just who's
Lets
drunk
it
that
go.
day? Yeah,
And
just lets it
pulls the
go.
chute.
Like, sorry guys,
We're gonna cruise to our
we
destination. Hopefully,
it's
it's
gonna
windy.
take an hour to land. We're gonna land on our tail because Steve got drunk again.
Yep, Denzel. Yeah, no, I
Um,
mean, like I said, nobody survives big plane crashes. Little plane crashes, sure, like Travis Barker or whatever, but
yeah,
That's
like,
not
it's
true. I
kind
read,
of a big deal. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the pilot. Like, there was the Sully guy who
yes.
I wouldn't really call it a plane
The
crash. I
Hudson
mean,
River.
he did land it. He
He
just
landed
landed
it.
in the river. I think
There was
I
a-
think
You know
Like-
what? If I'm in the plane, I'm gonna fucking call myself a survivor. And there's nothing that you could tell me.
oh,
like,
so you can
that's-
sell books and stuff and go on
Oh,
CNN and all that.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
I would too.
Yeah. I'm a
It's like-
survivor.
And like, what's the
I'll
best
get that
thing?
Beyonce song.
You
I'm
could write a book,
survivor.
It's like,
surviving plane
um,
crashes, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the school shootings and the kid that was all the way across the other side of the campus that was nowhere near it, but he ran off campus.
he was
Well,
homesick.
I survived it. Oh my
Dude,
god!
even if I was the kid who called in sick that day, I would
You
write a
say you
book.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you did survive it, right?
Yeah, technically.
Technically, I was
Yeah.
smart enough not to go to school that day.
It's like the story you hear of the guy. I don't know if it's a true story or not, but I heard it where this guy was supposed to be at work at the trade center. And his wife called him and asked if he was all right. He said, "Yeah, I'm in the office." When he was really at his side chick's house, he was cheating on his
Sure,
wife.
there were hundreds of stories like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
that like the worst situation? You probably
How do
wish
you-
you were at the building.
How do you fake that one? Like, oh,
Shit.
Babe, I got good news and bad news. I'm alive, but
But
there was a Family Guy clip about that where the guy was like, "Oh, I got drunk watching like Monday Night Football, and I overslept." Oh, wait, sorry, I shouldn't. Basically, he shouldn't have celebrated, or he celebrated too soon.
yeah, no.
What do you do in a
it's,
situation like that, though?
mm.
Like, you don't want to get caught. No one's called you yet, though. But do you run down downtown New York, and cover yourself in like building dust, and then go home?
Well, no, because think about it. You
go
can tell-
go get some bagels and just come back to the house. Be like, "Hey."
Exactly.
Oh, I went
Yeah.
out for bagels.
You went out for
Yeah.
lunch or something because who in the
Lunch,
building
it's
is going
happening
to
in the
tell on
morning,
you?
no one's gonna tell.
Your supervisor's not going to say anything. No one knows you didn't go to work.
Although I feel like it's still too soon. to
It's
talk
too
about
soon.
it.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Like, you know what? You can say whatever you
You
want.
can literally say anything.
I was on assignment.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow. So the Comic-Con.
no, that's right. We were talking. How the hell did we get sidetracked that far?
Airplane crashes. Airplane crashes. All airplane crashes lead to 9/11.
So I saw on both of you guys' Instagrams that you got commissioned to do stuff. Tell me about that. And then also, like Carlos, you had a commission that had Berserker on the top, but Berserker is the Keanu Reeves comic that's coming out, right?
Yeah.
So did John Wick recruit you? What happened there? Why was it Berserker on top of the thing?
Well, usually when you get a blank cover commission, the person wants you to do something from whatever's inside the book, right?
Okay.
But the person
They'll give you examples or whatever.
yeah, they're like, "Hey, can you put Berserker on this cover or whatever?" Doing something, I don't know, at Disneyland, just some way out there. But this guy that came to the table, all he had was Berserker blank covers. He didn't have any other blank covers, so he just wanted me to put a Boba Fett on it instead of Berserker. He just wanted a drawing of Boba Fett on a comic book cover.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess
Pretty
that
much.
way he can either slab it or he can just put it in a comic book bag and save it. Whatever. Let me say what slabbing is in case you go, "What's slabbing?" It's when you get your comic book graded and they put it in that plastic. You can no longer open it. They'll give it a grade and they'll put the grade across the top.
Okay. They do
just to
that
give
with
it more value.
cards and
Right.
just
yeah,
about everything they do that with.
Right.
So
I feel like at one point I would have been slapped like an 8.5. Like at the
oh,
peak.
like if you were slabbed, you mean?
25,
yeah.
maybe like 20, 25.
Yeah,
Mm,
25-ish, still like, thin hair.
I don't know, man.
No bald spots. I think I was a 8.5 at one point.
I go 20 years old, a solid 9 slabbing. Nowadays, it's if they slab me for probably a 6.
Now it's flabbing.
So
That's what that is.
they can't even close the case. Like, we can't close the case, sir. What do you mean? Sorry. Come back at a 7. Maybe we can close it.
If they slapped me, it would be 285 because that's how much I weigh.
Well, that'd be your score.
Yeah, that my score is
Great
285.
score, man. That's a great
A
score.
very high score.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got commissioned for comic book covers for drawing Kobe Bryant dunking over Dr. Octopus.
That'll
This is
be
very
interesting, right? You can
interesting.
have all these hands like trying to block them type of thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's the thing I pitched to the guy. And he's like, that's perfect. Draw that. And I was like, all
Okay.
right. And then we
Have
got
you ever
some
gotten
80
any weird commissions? Like
Yeah.
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 Why don't you tell me about that?
I've had Spawn watching TV with Lady Death and Iron Man in the
Oh,
background
that's
watching with
right.
them. Yeah.
So
Mine
nothing
was-
like creepy, like, hey,
tell you,
I
my-
want
my-
you to draw a picture of me watching you sleep.
I wouldn't mind. Hey, I give it a shot.
No, the weirdest commission
That's
I've
gonna be
ever gotten-
75. That's gonna be higher.
The weirdest commission I've ever gotten was very specific. It was this person wanted a blonde girl sitting on the toilet playing Tetris.
Like on a Game Boy?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's what
And-
he got.
Oh,
Now what kind of view? Like over the top, like you're looking down on her playing Tetris type of
It was
thing?
up to me, so I just had her sitting on the toilet. You could see her from like a 3/4 view, and she wasn't naked. She was wearing clothes, except for obviously her pants were around her ankles, and she had this, and then she had a Game Boy in her hand with her wrist kind of bent, kind of like out, kind of like she's kind of done playing.
Yeah.
You could see the game Tetris on the Game Boy.
So did you like send it back to him? Hey, try not to jerk off on this because the ink's still wet type of thing?
It was digital.
No.
But I did send it back to him, and then he wanted like a sequel to it or like an update. He contacted me like a year later. Hey, can you update this and something like that? I'm sure. I said yeah, but I never got back to him.
I actually
yes.
bought a Game Boy from Nelson, and he like threw in a shit ton of games. It was like $50, but I was always behind the times. Like you guys like would get like the Nintendos or Super Nintendos or whatever pretty soon after they came out. Mine was like about 3 years later, like after I get a job or whatever. So I'm like playing Tetris like it's the next best thing, and you guys are already on PlayStation 1 type of thing. I was always behind the times when it came to that.
We're playing Sonic the Hedgehog. You're playing Tetris.
Yeah.
So any more
Because
questions?
you guys
Johnny?
don't still have your old PlayStation stuff, right?
No.
I have my Game Gear.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
No. Don't keep
Remember,
the oldies.
it came out. They had some decent games, and it was easily hackable. Like you
Oh,
guys,
the Dream. What's it called? The
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast. Sony.
No, Sega Dreamcast, where you can put in
Yes.
a
Yeah,
boot
you
up
can
disc, and then
pull
after
hella
the boot
games
up
off
disc,
the
you just
internet. Yeah.
put the
That
game right in. Yeah.
was amazing. I don't know why I gave that away. I should have just held on to that because I had, I don't know,
Windows
200
is
games.
full.
Yeah, but
Bindles.
nowadays you can go on Amazon and buy a whatever system you want simulator, and they'll send you a system that's like 6x6 with 2 controllers, and it'll have like 400 games already on it.
That is pretty
An
cool
emulator.
too. But you know the problem with that is there's too many options, right? Because they're gonna have Street Fighter, but they're gonna have 40 versions.
Well, yeah, it's like Netflix, right? It's like your list is
There you go. Yeah,
totally
yeah.
packed, and you can spend an hour just looking at your list. I should start. No, not that. You know what? Let me go down the list more. Oh, I want to watch this one. I'll watch it later. I do that all the time. I just tell myself I'm going to watch this later. I'll start this next week, and you never get to anything. You just go right back to what you were watching yesterday.
Yeah.
Because that's Netflix for you.
Yeah.
God
so
damn
so
it.
there's too many options with that, but it is a really cool concept. One of my buddies has the emulator or the what Carlos was describing, and it was cool. I think the only thing is like if you get newer ones, like you don't have Mike Tyson's Punch Out anymore. You just have like Punch Out with someone that kind of looks like Tyson. Like he took his name off.
It's
of that
true.
shit.
Yeah, no, they can't use Mike
Buster
Tyson.
Douglas punch out.
It's
Yeah.
it's the yeah. They don't.
I
You're
would
right.
love
You're
a
right.
Buster Douglas punch out because you just like it starts with you winning the championship, and then from then on it's like every adventure. Like, oh, I need to eat 32 cheeseburgers today.
Yeah.
Get fat
It's
as
all
fuck before.
downhill from there.
Like if you don't hit 400 pounds before your next fight, you fail or something like that.
He had his own boxing game too on the Sega Genesis after he
He
beat
had-
Mike
I
Tyson.
mean,
did.
Back then,
So did Evander Holyfield.
That was the same
Yeah.
game, basically. Yeah.
Was it?
back then, I feel like with heavyweight boxers, after you won the championship or whatever, it was instant fame, instant.
Oh yeah.
I remember
was.
there it was Burger King, I think, that came out with like a tiny hamburger, a slider basically, and then Evander Holyfield. I'd pop my buddy in the mouth, and the new like Burger King buddies, and I don't know.
Well, do you remember that Pizza Hut did that too when
That white dude.
Mike Tyson fought the white dude that wanted to fight him when he got out of jail or whatever, and he knocked him out right away. So they act like the piece of pizza knocked him out. Like he went to go eat it, but the piece of pizza knocked him out instead. And
Yeah, he came out of the corner all puffing and like bouncing,
like
and Mike hit him one time, and it was over.
yeah.
Good.
And he got a Pizza Hut commercial out of it.
Yeah.
So, but Comic-Con was fun. Yeah.
Do you see
Yeah.
any cool
They had
cosplay
cars.
type of stuff?
Well, yeah, they had like what they have there. They had Kit from Knight Rider. They
Nice.
had
They had Herbie the Love
Herbie the Love Bug.
Any Batmans?
No, they
No,
had
no
they had,
Batmobiles.
they had a knockoff Ecto One from Ghostbusters.
Okay.
They had a cool looking what's the car
Lightning
from
McQueen.
Lightning McQueen? Yeah, really cool looking Lightning McQueen.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they had a setup where you can take pictures with all the 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the first movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's kind of cool. That's a
Do you-
really cool like Instagram type of backdrops for like the new Spider-Man movie. And all these really cool like little backdrops and cosplay, like you said. No, cosplay, there's plenty galore. I mean, all day you see it.
One guy came dressed as Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. He looked dead on.
Huh.
Looked pretty damn good.
I feel like you would have some better costumes during the winter times because at Sec Anime, I mean, people were just miserable. The ones that like really went into it and dressed up as like say Chewbacca or whatever, they were fucking miserable because it was 110 outside and 150 in their suit. But I feel like wintertime you're gonna have more outgoing people.
Well, what you see at Comic-Con is people that at home, they're shy, they don't want to show their true colors, but comic book conventions allow them to be what they really want to be. Scantily clad, half naked, super chicks, whatever you want to call them.
And it's like going to a nude beach, right? Because sometimes you get a really good view and sometimes it's really bad.
I say it's
So,
yeah,
pack
and
up
I say it's
leave.
I say it's 50-50. Yeah, comic book conventions, it's 50-50. Yeah. And probably the best one I saw was some guy dressed as Rick from The Walking Dead.
Okay.
He looked like Rick.
Because he literally looked just like the actor, like it was just like a twin brother. of
Oh, so
his.
people were just pulling him aside. Hey, let me take a picture. Type of
Well,
thing.
the goofy thing was people wouldn't take their masks off because, of course,
He
you have to wear
did,
the
though.
mask. Well,
He
he
would.
did for that individual, but
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about the whole COVID thing.
yeah, and most people didn't take their mask off when they're taking pictures. I'm like, come on, at least take it off for people to ask you for a picture.
Did people have to show their Vax card to get in?
No. They
'Cause-
said they would have to, but no one checked.
Okay, because
Yeah, no
LA
one
is pretty bad right now as far as like I heard a story of a guy. Well, a lot of people like not being able to go to the mall because you need to show your Vax card type of thing.
No, the
But-
mall you don't have to show it.
But
You don't have to show it at places you eat. Show it at places that you're doing
like
physical
grocery
fitness.
stores, you don't have to worry about that.
No grocery stores, no like shopping like at the mall.
Yeah, I forgot that you live down there.
It's only at restaurants primarily, gyms, movie theaters. They say so, but they don't check there either. But I'll be honest, nobody's checking at all. Nobody.
As long as you're being honest.
Yeah, because they're not enforcing it because the sheriff in LA said no one checked that crap. We're not going to enforce it at all.
Right.
He said it's a waste of your time. So
They don't got time for that. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
we've been through the whole In and Out thing, right? We talked about how In and Out said we ain't checking no one's vax cards. That's not our job.
Yeah, they shut the Frisco one down.
Because Frisco's like, you're not doing your job. You should be
Oh,
checking.
San
They're like,
Francisco. I hate
and
that
they
city.
and they said, and In and Out said, that's not
we
our
have another
job.
topic. We have another
Yeah,
topic.
we don't have
Maybe after our break.
we don't have a job like we don't have an employee to sit there and check vax cards. You know what? You want to do that? Send someone out here to do it. And they're right.
Could you imagine being the dude like, hey, you're on door duty today? What?
Yeah.
So you want me to get into fights with people fucking all
Right?
day about their
Yeah,
vax
yeah,
cards?
But here's the thing, though. People can, as the guy checking the door, they can show you anything. Yeah, you good. Go ahead. You good. You know what I mean?
Well,
Because-
even if they don't have the vax card, people have that medical exemption too. So, like, what if you say I'm medically exempt from wearing a mask or whatever?
How do you prove it? You
Yeah,
have to
that you
carry-
can't prove, though. You know what I mean? You can't prove
Yeah,
a medical
but-
exemption of a vaccine shot.
But then if you doesn't deny that person entry, then you're violating other shit. So
Or you could always
I'm just
tell
saying,
them,
I feel for the doorman.
There's no doorman, though.
In my mind, there's a doorman, and they have a tough job. Like
What
the
if the doorman
Walmart
just goes,
greeter.
look, go quick, in and out. See? He's
But like at Costco, they're very like
well, Costco, yeah.
service.
Oh, and
Um,
also let me check your card and da 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 da. So
Yeah.
not your vaccine card, but your Costco card.
right.
So, but yeah, no, Comic Con was fun though, and it was 3 days. The first day was it seemed very long, but it was the shortest of days. Second day was packed. I mean, it was packed shoulder to shoulder. I mean, it was quite a crowd. A bunch of celebrities, and then Sunday was kind of mellow, but it's still a fun day. And
You guys were basically working the whole time, so you didn't have a chance to.
oh no,
go to-
we got up and walked around.
But
like-
you can't go to panels and whatnot.
We could have because we trade off. I'm gonna go walk around for a little bit. Okay. Or I'm gonna go outside. Take a
Mhm.
breather. Okay, cool.
Did you find anything out new? Like, hey, I heard the Marvel's making a new movie type of thing.
That's the thing. Marvel and DC do not attend Comic Con Los Angeles.
Oh,
They only attend WonderCon, New York Comic Con, and San Diego Comic Con.
okay.
Yeah.
well, Zachary Levi was there, and he said he's been for quite a few years now trying to push a Chuck movie. Apparently, I never saw Chuck, but apparently it was popular, and he's been pushing a Chuck movie for quite some time.
Yeah.
He didn't
no.
say it was coming, but he just said he's still pushing it.
I watched that show religiously.
Was it good?
Back in the day? I liked it. You know, there was a lot of heart in the first few seasons. So the premise is like he gets a supercomputer downloaded into his brain, and then like he'll come across something like, let's say, class ring, and then it will be, oh, this class ring is associated with this murderer, and that murderer is right there. Holy crap! And so like he'll keep on going missions after he gets a flash. So, I mean, that premise was kind of cool. And then the lead actress, Yvonne something or other, the blonde chick, she was in The Tomorrow War as Chris
Mm.
Pratt's daughter.
Oh,
But
okay.
she's a spy / love interest. So there's, a few seasons of building up to them falling in love type of thing. But then it's just started getting really stupid. They ran out of stories and like, oh, well, how about they called it the intersect, the computer that was in his head. How about the intersect go to her now? How about the intersect go to his coworker, the goofy dude? And so like they just ran out of stories. It was pretty
Hmm.
short, maybe like 5-6 seasons tops. I know like their last season, like the fans pretty much brought it back. They were like, oh, Chuck's gonna probably get canceled. And the fans like brought it back. And this was before internet really got involved. So yeah, the final season was pretty stupid. I was a big fan though. I really liked Chuck, really liked Zachary Levi. So I became a big fan of his because of that. But a Chuck movie, I don't know. It would be for the fans. It wouldn't be a moneymaker for sure.
No, it wouldn't be a money.
Netflix deal, a Hulu deal, or something.
Mhm.
If they did it, Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to service the fans and maybe to get out a last story type of thing. But at the time, like they made some pretty what do you call it? They had a lot of like guest star in there. Chevy Chase was a bad guy at one point. Scott Bakula was Chuck's dad. Jordana Brewster was a love interest at one point. I mean,
Mhm.
it was a really good show. I really liked it, but it doesn't quite hold up. I've tried rewatching it recently in the past like year.
Is it streaming somewhere?
I don't know. Maybe on Hulu, if anything.
All
That's
right,
it.
no Chuck.
Or maybe on Peacock. Peacock has a bunch of.
Oh, you know, it's probably Peacock is an NBC show.
Yeah.
That's right. That is correcto. Okay, fantastic. You guys ready for a break?
Yeah, let's take a break. I need to pee. I need to grab another Michelob Ultra because I like drinking water with alcohol.
All right, let's take a break here on Nerds Talking the Podcast. We'll be right back after this.
This is an attempt to resist the forces of nature.
Yo, check 1 2, yo.
You're about to hear two middle-aged men talking shit.
That sounds fun. Hell yeah.
What's this show called?
It's Rich and Tim Unleashed.
Welcome to Nerds Talking the Podcast. I'm here with Carlos and Johnny, and I'm Lafayette. It is the 10th of December. So what comes out today in theaters? West Side Story by Steven Spielberg. You guys interested in West Side Story by Steven Spielberg?
I can wait until it comes on one of the streaming networks. I'm sure it'll be good. I've seen good reviews so far, but not really something that I'm too interested in.
My guess it goes to Apple TV because he has a deal with them. So
okay.
And then there's it's called, what's it called? Halo Infinite on Xbox.
Xbox
comes out.
Yeah.
So if you have Xbox, Halo, the new game has come out and has rave reviews. So check that out.
Do you guys ever get into that Halo thing?
Oh yeah, I was hardcore into maybe the first 3, and then I didn't play 4 or 5 at all.
I was into the first 2 maybe, but then it was really big to like play against each other, and people would just slaughter me. And it was when I first got my Xbox and I had the headset, and then just people just talking shit. Hey, turn around, Johnny. And like my username is Johnny Lee. And so it's like, hey, Johnny Lee, I'm gonna stab you in the face. I'm like, fuck you, motherfuckers, and I get all pissed. And
they're like little kids, huh?
Little tiny children,
hey,
just whooping
Johnny,
my ass.
I'm gonna shoot you, man.
Yeah.
Like what? I like how you said little tiny kids. Those are pretty. First they're little.
No,
they're tiny.
They're not only kids, but they're midget kids. I mean,
midget kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is a midget kid?
Preemies.
Really?
Were they
Because
preemies?
isn't that just a kid until like he hits a certain height and then he's just a midget? Like how does that work?
I mean, they're midgets or little people can still be children, right?
That's what I'm saying. What point are they little people? Are they midgets?
Or what time do they peak? Or
yeah. What's the peak? Like if they peak at like age 5 and that's it, then they're officially a midget.
I don't think it depends on age. It's about all about height.
What
you
if
hit 4? You hit 4 foot, you're a fucking giant.
That's what I'm saying. If they hit 4 feet at age 5, right? Are they done? Now, do we call them adults? like how does that? Because they're done.
I mean, that we could probably like take their vote, but it'll only be like half the vote. Like
half the vote. Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
No, midgets, they're fun, man. I'd never see midgets in public. I'm not sure if they have their own underground society or what, but you never see them in public.
I've only seen a couple, and I've never seen one in the jail. First, I've seen all kinds of other things, but I've never seen.
You have to go to juvenile hall.
Is it because when you arrest them, you just laugh at them and let them go?
It's funny. You would think so, right? Let's say, for example, like a little person punched me or whatever. I'm like, hey, or a kid punched me. Like, I'm not gonna call the cops. Like, but you would be surprised. Like, some lady came in for domestic violence, but she was like 85 and in a wheelchair. I'm like, motherfucker, just move. Just put your foot out and stop the wheel from coming to you. But called the cops on her ass and put her in jail. And so like,
well, how old was the individual that called the cops?
I mean, he was in his 60s. Let's say she was in her 60s too. She wasn't like 80s.
So they're a married couple, domestic violence. And she's in a wheelchair.
He just wanted to get rid of her. He just wanted her out of the house.
Yeah,
that's a smart idea.
How hard is it to grab the wheelchair with the handles and push her into a corner? and
Yeah,
lock
just
it.
put
Hey
the
there.
fucking brakes on, or put something in the
put her in a
spokes.
pantry.
Put a sheet over her and call
Yeah.
it a day.
if you have, if you have a
She's-
basement down
She's
the
not a
stairs,
parrot. She doesn't just go to sleep.
I have a big enough fireplace. You can put her in there.
There was in the academy, there was a dude who had no
Legs.
legs and no arms. I think he might have had like a small arm, but like it didn't reach past like the elbow point.
Wait. He was in the police academy.
No.
Okay.
So
I was super confused.
yeah.
He made it pretty
That's what you
far.
said. You said in the academy.
Okay, I did.
I was gonna have a
specify.
joke about it, but it's kind
He
of
was a guest speaker because like there's a section where you learn how to deal with people with some sort of handicaps.
Yeah.
And so anyways, like this guy had no legs and like one arm that like came to like his elbow.
It's a
type of
baby
thing.
arm. Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. And then they were like, all right, well, search him, so that the guys would search him. Well, you missed the gun. Like he was sitting on a gun. It was like, well, did
What
I?
do you do?
I
Throw
mean,
the guy to the floor? I mean, how do you search? How do you,
no, I mean,
you
it's,
pick him up
it's-
like a vase and just kind of
Wait, can he reach his gun with his little baby arm?
no.
Because I would
No.
just challenge him to do it. We found a gun, sir, but if you can take it, I can keep it.
Right. I'll tell you what. You reach it. I'll
All
let you,
yours.
I'll let you take a shot.
You get a free
You get
shot.
one. You get one.
You get one, and then
You get one. Because
But remember, I get to shoot back when you're done.
baby arm.
yeah, and it was like I get the lesson, but come on, like you're not gonna really punish me, are you? Like, what if he
No,
needed to reload?
I-
Like, it's just not gonna happen.
The last little person I saw in public was Wee Man, and I met him at a from Jackass, and I met him at a graphic shop for my work van, and we just sat there talking for like 30 minutes, just bullshitting about just whatever, nothing like no Jackass dumb shit, just bullshitting about what the fuck's going on. Oh, because he owns a chain of little like burrito, I guess Taco Bells, you can say, really, in strip
Have you
malls.
tried it?
Yeah, they're pretty good, Chronic Tacos.
Oh, okay.
And kind of talked about that shit. But that was the last small, and that was like 4 years ago. I swear, where are these people at?
They're on
I know they're
TV.
seldom. They're very
See
few.
him all
I
the
mean,
time.
how the hell do you see
Do
them
you?
all the time?
At school.
Yeah.
Or
You
at
go
the-
to petting
like
zoos?
No, I'll be like at Target and I'll see, one or two. Not like a weekly, event, but yeah, I see them out.
What
and
is all
about.
the time? Give me your ratio.
Well, to me, all the time would be like you make it sound like they don't exist, like they're fairies or mythical creatures.
They are.
I see them like I'm gonna say at least one or two every 3 to 4 months.
Holy
I've
shit.
I've seen the last one I saw was probably like 15 years ago.
That's
in
a better
Oakland.
ratio than Bigfoot, asshole. Jesus
No,
Bigfoot's not real.
Hey, you shut your mouth.
Midgets happen to be real people.
Not
Yeah.
according to you, they don't exist. They're
Well, they
nowhere.
don't. No, they just live in some type of secret underground society of some kind, like mole men.
I saw one in SoCal, and he had a gold gym shirt on, and he was jacked.
Was he, Jack?
But then I was like, man, I mean, he probably benches like 350. But
You know what?
then-
You just reminded me. I saw one at the gym 2 weeks ago, and
Okay.
he was jacked. Yeah,
I mean, like,
that's right.
because I have a friend who's not a little person, but he's short. He's got little arms. He's like, yeah, I could bench like
Like Chris
375.
Benoit arms.
Yeah. Probably even smaller. But I'm like, you
What?
only have to, push your arms up about 7 inches. So good for you. Yeah.
yeah, he
you-
doesn't have to do that much
Yeah,
work.
my
I know.
arms. Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
go a little higher and bring that down, man.
I gotta go the whole like 2 feet. And he has to go 7 inches. What a dick!
What a dick.
What a dick! And I think the legal height for midget is under 5 feet in California. So like if you are under 5 feet, you can actually get like a handicap placard for your vehicle because you're considered handicapped, which I think is funny. You're not handicapped if you're short. That's not a handicap.
Maybe it's
You're
a
handy-
warning to other drivers.
They shouldn't be driving. Well, that's not true. There's a lot of short women that drive. So that's but that is there's a couple. Even if you're obese, you're considered handicapped.
No.
What? Oh, you haven't applied yet? Because-
Yeah. Where do I get this
filling out his
placard?
application right now?
It almost sounds like the no was more like a surprising thing. Like no, what? Like, do you get fat on purpose to get closer parking to the mall? Like, if you found that out, is that something you would like? Would you do reverse liposuction?
So would you
You
get
know what?
a
I think it would depend on the food court. Like
Oh,
what
really?
do you have in your food court? Because I went to
they got a Dairy Queen?
Yeah, the thing is, would you drive to a nice food? Would you consider getting obese for a handicap for a nice food court? Like, but you have to drive like 35 minutes away. And remember, most food courts are just fast food. It's not like anything too
Here
fancy.
we go again. Food core.
No, it's the court.
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't hear.
What's a food
I
court?
didn't hear the T. I didn't hear the T.
It's a food court. Not a food court.
I don't know if it's your internet or if it's your bad enunciation.
No,
But
is it-
there you go.
No, I mean, it's just, I mean, I have a handicap placard, so I'm a
That
true
explains
handicap.
it. That explains.
And then I went to my doctor and he's like, why do you want a handicap placard? Have you
have
heard
bad
nurse
English.
talking? He's like, yes, yes. So you must be Carlos. I was like, no, but I'll take it anyway. So,
What's your placard for?
oh, it's just for my knees are all jacked up. So when I was in the
Boo.
prison cells,
Right.
kind of messed my knees up.
Right.
Yeah. And my
I got
teeth.
shanked in the knees.
No, he didn't want to.
Oh, yeah, you can say that.
You know what I'm saying?
I got shanked. So many ways at one time.
That would be a different placard, but I'll let you park further
Right?
if you take 10 dudes.
Right. So you're not handicapped? Have you been raped in jail? Sir? Have you?
You don't know what
I
I've
have.
seen.
I just
Don't look at me.
Yeah. The guy's like, sir, it's just the marshals. Okay, you can park right here. That's right. What if it feels like that? The handicap placards were like different levels of like department stores you can park in the front. So like, what did they like? And it had handicap stalls even further away if your handicap wasn't that serious. So it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But yeah, so handicap, you can be obese and be handicapped. I still don't think that's a handicap.
No, I mean the problems that come along with like serious obesity, like the gout and
No, that creates a handicap. Yes.
of course, yeah.
yes.
And then even like with a lot of people and their diabetes, they can just get rid of their diabetes if they just get healthier.
That is very true. That is very true.
So
if you're not born with it.
right.
Yeah.
So I was so for work, I have two options. I could park in the garage, which is, let's say, a 10-minute walk.
Mhm.
It's probably not that, maybe a little bit less. Or there's a spot right next to my building that I park on the side. After hours, it's free or whatever. But during this time of year, there's just a ton of crows, because there's big trees in downtown Sac. Ton of crows, so my car gets shit on every single day. So I have to hose my car off. I save 10 minutes of walking, but I have to hose my car off for like 10 minutes when I get home because it's just full of bird shit. Anyways, yesterday, I pull into work and there's this dude, and I look, because it's already dark at 6 o'clock at night this time of year. And I look and there's something on his shoulder. I'm like, it's a fucking bird. I'm like, what? Just a bird. It was actually a falcon. After like talking to the dude or whatever, I found out it's a falcon. He had a one of those like reflective work vests on, and his job, like he's contracted through the city or county, I forget, but just to go around with this
To get
falcon.
rid of the crows?
Yeah, like he brings a crow out or his falcon out, and the crows just fucking scatter because this big ass beast is there. I've never seen of anything like that. I've never heard of anything like that. But I walked out and my car didn't have like 3 layers of shit on it, which was pretty awesome. So I don't know if that's a new thing that they're starting, but could you imagine like if they had that with other things? Like, hey, there's a lot of homeless people gathering around here. Let me bring out my Bengal tiger and just fucking just watch him scatter type of shit. I think that'd be pretty cool. I would have questions too. Just throw on a reflective vest and then bring out your tiger. Fucking Joe Exotic come out of jail. He can work off his prison time and fucking just scare off some unmentionables or unwanted
Joe
people.
can't come out of jail.
Have you ever seen
He's
Hawk?
coming out. You got to watch season 2.
I
Of
did. I
Tiger.
watched season 2. Yeah,
He's coming out.
He ain't coming out. He ain't coming
Yeah,
out.
everyone
No.
recanted their stories.
No, he ain't coming out. He ain't
I
Have
mean,
you seen?
it's a
have you ever
clusterfuck anyway, but
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a story of a bunch of crazy ass rednecks getting
Pretty
together.
much. And one
They're all
crazy
gonna-
woman.
But didn't he say he's got like aggressive prostate cancer or something like that?
I don't know about that.
He said not in the
Uh,
documentary, but he said it recently.
it's not in part 2, which I was kind of surprised it wasn't there. But I think he just said that shit because he wanted to get out of jail. That's all.
Or maybe he just likes getting his prostate massaged.
How would that give him cancer?
I don't know how that shit works, man.
No, it's probably not even that. He's probably a cancer. You know, like he was born on the
He's the
month.
cancer.
Yeah, he's born on
Cancer in society.
I mean, you watch that, and for sure he said that to try to get out of jail. That's all. He tried to
No,
use it
no,
as an
you'll
excuse.
see that with.
No, I saw it.
What
I
was
saw
the
it.
He had a couple of different names, like the Golden State
Oh, the old
rapist
man,
or
the Golden State
East
yeah.
Area rapist or whatever. When he finally like got into jail, like all of a sudden he needed oxygen tanks and
And
wheelchairs.
wheelchair. Yeah.
But I mean, like, so with the sympathy of that, maybe you get one less life sentence. I mean,
Well, yeah. Remember Harvey Weinstein when he was
all of a
going
sudden
in?
needed a walker. when he
Oh,
was jail-
Walker. He
yeah.
was like blind. They said, and yeah. All of a sudden he had 1,000 medical ailments until he got put in jail. He was fine. So
yeah,
it's like, come on, man.
He's
Like, remember Jeffrey Epstein? He had that medical condition of a noose around his throat. Remember?
there's a conspiracy theory about that. They say the cameras went down. They say he was murdered.
And the guys just conveniently went on a break. The guys
yeah,
guarding him. Oh yeah. No, he didn't.
I'm just glad I wasn't working there and that night. I mean, like I'll hear of like shit that goes down, like, oh, someone didn't do their cell check. Like,
I mean, we clearly know that he was murdered because that dude knew way.
we
too
don't
much
clearly
about
know
people,
that.
Okay,
We don't clearly. He was on
Speculation.
suicide watch
he knew.
beforehand.
He knew. Man, that
But-
guy had so much dirt on people.
No,
Oh,
he was
man.
on suicide watch before he got murdered. I mean, before he killed himself.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, but his girlfriend must know the same amount of stuff, though.
Oh,
she's
yeah, of
currently
course she
on
does.
trial.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, she better hope she don't go to jail.
Not the same jail.
Well, she was
I mean,
already
She's
in
gonna
jail.
conveniently be found hanged.
It's
Whatever,
convenient.
hanged, hanged,
It's hung.
dead.
whatever.
Yeah,
Hanged.
convenient hung. Found dead. Convenient found dead. Johnny's right. Convenient.
Mm.
All right, let's take a break here on Nerds Talking the podcast. We'll be right back after this.
We are two old guys on the back porch.
We are.
He is Tequila Dan,
He is Steve Scotch.
and we have the lovely and talented Cat, that's CAT, making this thing happen.
Hey, y'all.
We cover everything from music,
Sports,
hot old chicks,
booze, definitely lots of booze.
and anything else that pops in their head.
Where can we be found?
We can be found on Stitcher, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Spotify, and all your other premium podcast platforms.
Two old guys on the back porch can be picked up every Thursday.
Give us a listen.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking the podcast. We're with Carlos and Johnny, and I'm Lafayette. And we just finished talking about, handicaps and how do you, I guess, officially apply to be a handicap without, like, say, being born with a handicap. And then Carlos brought up a good one. What is the oddest handicap you've ever seen? So, Carlos, what is the oddest handicap you ever seen?
And I saw a fella walking around. He had no arms, but out of his shoulders were fingers, like hands, almost a full hand coming out of his
Right.
shoulders.
Yeah.
That was the oddest thing I've ever seen. Felt bad for the fella.
Yeah, I always feel bad for people like that. When I see somebody in a wheelchair that they were born that way, and
Mhm.
they literally, it's almost like there's no thought process behind the eyes. It just feels so like, I see people like that. I'm like, man, this.
Well,
too
you
bad
feel bad for the cards they were dealt. I mean, they couldn't help us.
No, that's what
Right,
I'm
right.
saying. Like, and you wish you could
Like
just,
their struggle is real.
yeah, but the thing is, they don't know the struggle is real. Do you know what I
No.
mean?
That's
Like,
true.
In that regard, Carlos is just like Carlos's guy with the hands sticking out of his shoulders. I mean, should he have a handicap placard? He can't drive.
He's got to take the bus. Well, the person that I was talking about before, who came and spoke during the academy, he constantly had to like take the bus or light rail everywhere he went. Yeah, there's no way he can drive.
He didn't have an
Well,
assistant or helper.
The
or
thing is,
something?
do you give him a
I
placard?
think he gets a state assisted, but only to like help maybe with like showering and in and out of the tub type of thing. But
I mean, shouldn't you think a placard should be given to someone that it's a mobility issue? Because
well, I mean, disability is a disability. But if you have vertigo, I'm like, come on, you don't need to park that close. I guess.
Well, the funny thing about those placards though is that they give them to almost anybody.
Yeah,
They'll park closer to the mall just so they can spend the whole time walking around the mall. Why can't you park down the aisle a bit and walk to the mall and then walk around the mall? It doesn't make no sense.
yeah, that's not fair. Okay. He's talking about me.
but you ain't giving your placard back though. Huh?
It's funny. Everybody asked that. I know. Oh, wait, I saw your car the other day. Why do you have handicap placards on your thingamajig? And then just, it's like you don't want to explain shit.
Yeah, it's
So
just,
I just
I
always
mean,
say,
they gave it to you to keep the voices down.
I just say dumb shit. I'll be like, oh, I'm really bad at math, and they'll look at me like, what? Yeah, fucking horrible at geography, bro. So no, I just it's I mean, it is messed up though when you see people that just have really bad. I mean, but we also know people that Johnny told us a story about a guy that he blew his hand off on an accident.
Yeah, when he was a kid, and they took off his toe and put it where his thumb should be.
Yeah,
And that thing
that's
just
wild.
and it just grew. It grew pretty big. His thumb was really big.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, wouldn't you think if you had that and your thumb kept growing, you would just take
I mean,
it
there's
off?
nothing you can do then, right? I mean, like once it starts, you could try and wrap it up and keep the swelling down, but it's an abnormal procedure, so you're gonna get abnormal results.
Yeah, I mean,
It would be weird if you put a toe on your hand and then everything looked.
Well, I just wonder what the
good.
growth is. Is it just blood that was in there? I mean, that's such a crazy, like, that's
What
yeah.
the
That's
fuck? No,
crazy.
you're scaring the shit out of your big toe. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Where are my shoes at?
Trying to run away. Your
Yeah.
big toe's trying to run off.
He's like, yeah, I got no fucking flip flops to put
So
on
it's like
now.
it's like the movie Idle Hands, where the hand has its own thought.
That's with Jessica Alba, right?
Jessica Alba, yeah. That
One
was
of
a
my
good
favorites
movie.
for years.
That was a good movie. And
Not the movie, but
no,
Jessica
I already
Alba.
know.
All right.
I mean, towards the end when
Yeah.
when the idle hand rips all her clothes off.
Wait,
Jessica
what
Alba-
movie is this?
Jessica
Speaking
Alba
of
disappeared.
handicaps, Joe Biden recently, like I think it was like 2 weeks ago,
Had a
he had to
procedure.
go in for a procedure. It was
colonoscopy.
and so he was down for an hour and 25 minutes.
Did he
So-
really think he was gonna die during that?
No, but he was.
anytime a president goes under anesthesia, the vice president has to be the inactive.
Oh, so
president.
somebody has to be able to be in charge. The
It's
whole
just like
Yeah.
when remember when what's his name
Bush.
Bush, but also Reagan. Somebody tried to assassinate him, and then
Right, yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
That dude. I mean, that's a whole nother topic, but that dude is like walking free now. He's
yeah, he's out.
That's right.
yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
And then the senator or congressperson that he shot like died like years later because of the injuries, and
Oh, right.
Still.
Yeah.
that he was able to prove that he was mentally incapable or whatever and insane at the time, and he's out now, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's
While
yeah.
Joe Exotic is still serving time.
You and Joe Exotic.
He did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong.
What do you mean he did nothing wrong. Did you guys not see Tiger King?
No,
I mean, he was set up. Don't get me wrong.
There
but-
is not one innocent person in that fucking documentary. Everybody's guilty.
I mean, it's true. Even what's her name's
Carol
husband
Baskin.
disappeared. Carol Baskin's husband too. He was fucking dirty too. Shiesty.
Oh, that yeah, but he's in the belly of a tiger. Is where he's at.
Yeah.
No,
But
he got-
anyways,
no, he
speaking
got
of
killed by some
disabilities, like,
cartel or some
what do
shit.
you think of Kamala Harris being able to put that on her resume? She's got presidential powers. It was an hour and a half, but I
Well,
mean,
she's not really the pres. And the thing is,
she's not sworn in, but she has presidential
He has
powers.
powers. You
If
think she was
shit
right
went
there? Her
down,
LinkedIn updated that shit.
Well, but there's a difference
It's on a
between
resume for
being
sure.
the president and having presidential power, right? It's kind of like if you're on a shift and the manager's like, "Hey, I got to step off a couple hours. You're in charge. I'm the manager now." Well, no, you're still the assistant manager.
No. I would put that on my resume for
you
sure.
would for that.
Oh,
for
what
those,
if the manager
for the 2
falls
hours
off
he
the
was
boat?
gone.
Oh yeah.
Then who's in
Oh, for
charge?
sure.
You.
Right, man.
Yeah.
So if Joe were to die during the colonoscopy,
well,
then who's
then
in
of
charge?
course, well, if he dies, automatically Kamala Harris it becomes the president.
I mean, let's be honest. He's gone. He's 75% gone. Like mentally, he's
old,
not,
bro.
Not, yeah, he's old.
Let's be honest. There should be an age limit to being the president. You can only run between the age of 35 and 65. After that, you cannot run for president.
77. I mean, there's not too many Christmases left.
Yeah, it's like Joe, go enjoy your old age.
Well, that's true. There should be, because if they think 35 or younger than 35, you shouldn't run because they think you're too young to make decisions. Then you're right. After a certain age, you should be too old to make decisions.
Yeah, because you remember when there was a dude, I think it was in the Middle East somewhere, where he like threw his shoes at George Bush.
Yeah.
He dodged that shit, Matrix
Sure
style. You throw a shoe at Joe Biden, he'll turn to dust.
Well,
No,
2
I
days
think
later, he's gonna wonder what hit him.
That's what I mean. He'll get hit and like a 30-second delayed reaction.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was the question? There was no question. You got hit by a shoe, Joe.
Not even that. Joe says that when he's just standing around. Joe, looking at the wall. What was the question?
Who hit me with the shoe?
Question?
Yeah.
Like what?
No, he used this Maurice thing. Is that a trick question?
Yeah, for everything.
Oh yeah, it's just hey, you don't know that. You don't know that.
Good morning, Joe. Trick question? It's not a question, Joe. Just good morning. Good old Joe Biden.
Oh, Joe.
Good old Joe Biden. All right. Well, we'll take a break here on Nerds Talking the Podcast, and we'll get right back to business after the break.
Hey, Laura, can I ask you kind of a rude question? That's what we're here for. This is Impolite Society, the podcast that explores the topics you've been told not to talk about.
That's right. We explore cultural taboos, morbid curiosities, and the stuff you should probably know by now.
So join us as we ask the questions your mom told you never to ask. Like, how much do you make?
The questions you're dying to know the answers to, but are too afraid to ask, like, is it normal to spy on your spouse?
And the questions you never knew you needed the answers to, like, why is animated porn so popular?
New episodes come out every other Monday, and you can find Impolite Society wherever you get your podcast.
So buckle in and let's discuss the topics that won't fly in polite society.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking the Podcast. I'm here with Johnny, Carlos, and I'm Lafayette. And in the news, kind of a wild story in the city of San Francisco. What a city, I tell you. What a city. 3 police officers went into a restaurant and they just wanted to get something to eat, apparently. And the customers started complaining that they didn't feel safe that the cops were in there because they had guns. News alert, cops have guns. So they asked them to leave, the management, politely leave our store. And they were like, what the hell? We're here to eat lunch, or, I think it was lunchtime. And they told them to leave because just a few customers complained that they didn't feel safe.
Employees
having the
complained
cops
as well.
there. Think about that. You don't feel safe that the cops, come on, what's going on here? And they got totally shitted on by other customers, and they supposedly got like 1,000 one-star Yelp reviews, and then they apologized the next day. Oh, we're so sorry, we handled that wrong.
Yeah, Yelp had to turn their comments off because people were just.
It was so but think about that though. What kind of society has now turned into, I don't feel safe, the cops are around?
Well, their argument, I guess, is like, hey, you can't have guns here. We don't feel safe with guns here. So can you please leave? And, the cops just left. They didn't make a big deal about it. But if someone's robbing your ass and they have a gun, are you going to tell them to leave because you don't feel safe? I mean, like, or even if they're not robbing you, if it's just like a gangbanger or something like that has a gun and you see it, are you going to ask them to leave too?
Not even that too. It's a cop. You know what I mean? It's a police officer. Like, they carry guns. They're trained. Don't worry about it. They're not going to use it on you unless you do something stupid.
Right.
Like-
It's not like, damn, this pie is good, and then they just do a desk pop.
They do like the old west. They just start shooting there.
Yeah.
I like your pot pie.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I mean,
it's just
I thought it was interesting. Like their first post was, "We will, gladly welcome them back. Off duty and unarmed. This is a safe space, and it's for for people to feel comfortable." And they had mentioned like gays, transgenders, and biopic, which stands for
yeah.
something
yeah.
indigenous, whatever.
Yeah.
I had never heard that term
It's
before.
a biopic is people that have written biographies.
Oh man, I didn't know they felt uncomfortable.
They don't.
Just people with books.
Imagine if you wrote the JFK one. You don't want guns around.
Like Snooki's in the corner. I feel uncomfortable. I'm a biopic.
Yeah, I should say that. I think it's. I like the fact that they use like a cop out to throw in like LGBT people. you know?
Yeah, I mean, like because they're not safe because of not the police, because of guns. It's like
yeah, exactly.
But then, like 3 days later, they were like, "Oh, we handled that wrong. The cops are great," or whatever.
That was too late.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I've never been to that place in San Francisco before. It's more of like a breakfast or brunchy place, but they
You know the name of the place?
Somebody look that up because it's crazy.
It's called Hilda and Jesse.
Hilda and Jesse. Which one do you think kicked them out, Hilda or Jesse? Probably
I'm sure
Hilda.
it was Jesse. That
You think it was Jesse?
bitch.
Well, you think Jesse's a chick? I mean, it's both ways, but
no, it's definitely Jesse's a
is Jesse
a cowgirl?
Now is Jesse a like is that a sexy female name?
I think it depends on the girl. Like think of the name like Olga. Olga is a pretty like ugly name, but there are some hot Olgas out there. Some hot Olgas,
and of course they're always
Russian,
Russian,
right?
Yeah. Ukrainian, Russian,
da. But it was. I thought it was a little too late because their initial reaction was, come on back. We'll welcome you back. Don't bring your guns. And then after 3 days of just fucking getting hounded, they were like, we handled that wrong. We believe in the cops or whatever. I mean, if you really feel uncomfortable, they had a lot of other options. They could have said, you know what, I'll tell you what do you want to eat? I'm gonna give it to you, and then if you can take it to go, that would be great. Like if they did something like that, that would have been a little bit better. But still, like I don't believe in just not serving cops because there's guns on their hips.
But they did an announcement, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but
three
just
cops
the
in here.
idea to say that you feel uncomfortable because the cops had guns on them.
I mean,
how many times, if ever, have you heard of cops going into a place and shooting it up? I mean, I've never. I mean, have you ever heard of that? Have they sat down at a
I feel
restaurant?
like I've seen a movie about it.
Yeah, I've seen a movie about that.
But them was dirty cops.
Them days was dirty. Them days was dirty.
You know what I'm saying? And Scorsese can make a cop do anything. You know what I'm saying?
I just think it's.
Do you think they looked at the menu and goes, "Fuck, they don't got anything I want. Let's start shooting place up." I mean, it was just ridiculous.
No, they probably did that in
comfortable?
1642 or whatever, the Wild West.
In the West,
that's right.
The West
but who
in
did
the
they say did not feel
1600s?
comfortable?
Too far back.
It was employees as well as they generalized it. Said, hey, some of our employees feel uncomfortable, and you can possibly make our customers feel uncomfortable. And so they're like,
that's
all right,
because those employees have criminal records. They're probably hiding from the cops.
No, I think
it's ridiculous.
No, I mean they're very. I would hate to work in the city. I mean, they have a lot to deal with, but with the people that think that all these criminals have rights, don't lock up criminals. You need to help them all, and this and that, and then their homeless problem. I mean, it would be terrible to work in that city. I wouldn't mind working at Giants games. So,
you know what though? You hear about the city of Oakland though, right? City of Oakland, how they cut the police funding during the whole.
They're regretting that shit now.
No, they're reversing it. All of it.
Yeah,
they're reversing it, and rehiring all the cops back because they're having so many problems now.
Yeah, but let's go back to San Francisco real quick. Just like that guy who supposedly found a gun, accidentally shot it, and killed that girl that was walking her dog with her dad.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah, San Francisco is a literal
they had
shithole.
attacked immigration because
Yeah.
they only deported him like twice or some shit like that. And
Yeah, but he was in a sanctuary city. Can't
right,
get rid of him.
exactly.
Sanctuary cities are silly too, though. They're just silly.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's San Francisco. I don't know. I mean, it's like
Well,
the
look, San
cops.
Francisco is a literal toilet of California. Just look it up on Google. All the places that have human feces in San Francisco, I think the damn map has covered it.
No, it's just.
You know what? I'm gonna take your word for it. I don't want to Google some shit and I'll get like 2 girls in a cup or some shit like that.
I mean, it's just like, again,
Two girls in a cup, San Francisco.
It is. I mean, they're police officers. It's so dumb. It's like, how can
I'm
you be
surprised actually that this hit the news, because this has happened in Sacramento, like where people at Starbucks are like, the baristas are like, hey, I don't feel comfortable, we're not serving you or whatever. So it's hit like maybe the local news, but people really attacked this restaurant. Can they come back? Maybe, but I feel like the apology was a little bit too late. I mean, if anything, I'm glad, being, as I'm in law enforcement, I feel like the sentiment is shifting back towards law enforcement, and they're not talking about defunding everybody. I mean, that restaurant's going to definitely have their supporters and people that are going to start up. I almost said OnlyFans. I was going to say, what's that donation site? GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
Yeah, I'm sure if they decide like they can't do business anymore, people are gonna go fund them or whatever. But they brought this on themselves. I don't feel bad for them.
I mean, the whole defunding the police thing was ridiculous in the first place. It just was.
Right, because you don't have a plan in place. You don't have a backup plan.
No, and the plan they had that they came up with was ridiculous. It just was.
Yeah, it was just like, we'll just educate these criminals, and
no, not even that too. Oh, there's domestic violence. We'll just send out some counselors. Yeah, you do that. You're gonna have some more domestic violence on your hands. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's wild. I mean, again, to me, I just like they're police officers. You walk into an establishment, you go. I'm the type of person when I see police, I'm always like, hey, what's up? Like if I'm when I'm working. And they're always chill, whatever. Hey, what's going on? How's your day? Blah blah blah. And they have a gun. They're police officers. Like that's their tool of work. How do you want to put it? That what I mean. That's what they have. Like, So, and that leads us to our very last topic, which is Facebook ads and bots and news. Facebook, or now it's Meta. It's Facebook by Meta, and Facebook ads, of course, are served to you through an algorithm, and they're also connected to anything you do on your phone. Meaning, if you search something through the web,
yes,
anything you do on your phone, it doesn't matter what it is, you're going to be served that ad through other ads, through other apps. And that's just how it is now. I mean, I'll be at like an Adidas store, but because it knows my location and so forth and how long I've been in that store, I'll get served an Adidas ad on whatever I use next. It could be Instagram, it could be Facebook, doesn't matter. I'm going to be served that ad because that's just how it is now. That's how the technology.
Well, let me ask you this. Do the ads work on you?
I don't think I've ever bought something through a ad served to me. I do not.
Well, you're a stronger man than me because I am a weak person.
Do you really? You buy stuff?
Oh, so there was one, like you'll scroll on Facebook and then they'll have like a little video or whatever. Like this particular one was for like combat type pants, like BDUs, which stands for battle dress uniform. But it was like, oh, these are tear proof, these are lightweight, these are breathable or whatever, and they had a video to go along with it. And then I was like, well, sign me up. And it was apparently like some company in China, and whatever they sent me was 9 sizes too small, and it was a piece of shit. And it's from China. There's no way to get a hold of customer service or whatever. During when COVID first broke out and all the gyms were shut down, it was like, all right, well, because everyone was selling like their adjustable dumbbells for double of what they paid for it. So then this one website was like, hey, buy these ones for just a little bit higher. So like, since instead of paying 600, you're paying like 300. I clicked, I gave him my card number, never got the weights. So the ads and the bots, they've got me about 4 times for a total of, let's say, about $600. I'm a sucker.
$600?
Total with all the purchases that I made or didn't get. Like the more recent one that I did, it was a ad for Crocs, and I've never had Crocs before, and I was like, I always hear they're comfortable.
Now, is this a legit like the Crocs company, or is it like you got it like an?
It was an ad on Facebook.
Got it.
I thought it was from the Crocs company, and it was like, hey, Post Malone has these new Crocs out. I'm like, all right, cool. So I paid like $60 and I got them, and they're just regular Crocs. The return label was all in Chinese, and I paid $60 for regular Crocs. And yeah,
So yeah, you're kind of an idiot.
No. I never claimed to be smart. I mean,
so the only thing that I buy when it comes to something like that is let's say I went to the Adidas website and I sign up for their newsletter or whatever it is, whatever, and they'll send me to my email, hey, 30% off weekend. I'll buy stuff that way, but I never actually click stuff on Facebook to buy. I'll click it to see it, but I won't.
They're in cahoots with Amazon too, because if I'm browsing on Amazon, my search history shows up on Facebook.
Yes,
and I bought stuff through that, and which isn't included in my.
But it's not necessarily in cahoots with Amazon as much as that's just how it works nowadays with your phone in general. It knows it saves all the cookies of what you've been looking at and so on and so forth, and it feeds it to the other crap. So it knows, it kind of strings you along the whole time. Oh, wait, I just saw this. Wait, I just saw this on this. I just saw this on this.
Just really surprised though, because like I get it in that, like, let's say I was searching for the weights or whatever, and they should pop up all these ads. Some of them are fake, some of them are real, some of them are just trying to steal your money. I think more for like titties and stuff like that. Like, how come I don't get any ads for titties?
You can't buy titties, man. I mean, you can.
You can
buy titties.
You can, but it's probably fake titties.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. If you're buying titties, they are fake titties. No, but I
buy titties and I get a hand in the mail. Like, what the fuck?
But don't you think
somebody's toe,
a shoulder hand?
This ever happens? But the weirdest thing is, I'll be talking about something, not even looking it up, and then I'll be served an ad for it, and I'll be like, "What?"
Cricket.
I'm always like,
"Cricket." Repeat what you said. Cricket.
If I talk about something, I'll see it served to me in an ad, which is always wild to me.
If you talk about something,
if I talk about something, I'll be like, "Wait a second, I was just talking about." Yeah, that's happened to me. That's
happened to me at least twice.
Where I'm like, I was just talking about this, and an ad, boom, served to me on Facebook. And I'm like, what? Or Instagram. I'm like, wait a second. I didn't look this up. I was just no, what? Anyway. So yeah. Anyway, so it's
so for you must get ad upon ad about like faster wireless, right? Because your internet is terrible.
Never, no. I wish I do, but
because I need it. I need it bad.
Yeah.
Facebook, give me an ad.
Hold on, let me grab my phone. Faster internet. See if it hears me. But no, it's things like that where I'll, I swear I'll talk about something and I'll get an ad. I'm like, how the hell did I get fed? Especially if I'm at a mall, I'll get fed something that I went to a store to look at. But like I said, it's more like geotag. You're tagged at that location and knows what store you're in. So it's serving you.
Yeah,
that.
I guess I can understand that. What about Facebook? I would say within the past year, they have a news tab. So they'll.
Yeah.
I've been caught in rabbit holes lately. I'll click on that news tab and then I'll see what's going on. A lot of them are ads for, major newspaper companies. Like if you want to read this story, Wall Street Journal, $8 a month. Type
New York
of thing.
Times.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what bothers me is the headline, and it's all over all the news sites. MSN, Yahoo. It'll usually say something like the NBA world reacts to blank, like LeBron James something or other. The NBA world reacts to like Steph Curry. Like they make it seem like a more bigger deal than it is, and that seems to be like a headline that goes that applies to like 90% of their stories. And it could be just something like, hey, Klay Thompson is in the G League now. The NBA world reacts to Klay Thompson.
No, it's yeah. No, you're right. It'll be, I get that all the time where it'll be something like we saw the hidden something in the new Hawkeye show. And it goes, the whole article just tells you all about Hawkeye from the cinematic universe. And when it gets to the very last article, oh yeah, this is one line where he says this in the show. Like, wait, what? I read this whole thing for that, and that's all it is. But that's the idea, because the more clicks they get, the more ads they can sell. That's all it is. So literally, that's all. All it is.
It's working.
It's working on you for sure.
It's working on me for sure.
Yeah,
I've stopped buying shit from Facebook unless it's like a Amazon suggestion. Some of them are pretty useful, and I would say that I would buy from the Amazon suggestions, but anything else, I just don't trust it anymore. I tried to go, like when I bought those weights, for example, I went through my credit card companies, canceled it immediately because it sounded kind of shady, too good to be true. And then I contacted Facebook. Oh yeah, well, we'll go ahead and look into this, and they're just. I don't think I got my money back.
I mean, I think that is a problem, though, is that they're allowing companies to sell products, especially like knockoff, like basketball shoes. Not really knockoff so much, but like no-name shoes.
Definitely knockoff.
But you know what I mean? Like no-name shoes that look like knockoffs of big-name shoes. And you could tell just by the picture they're generic, like plastic bottoms or whatever. But these are like just as good as Nike for $30. And then they're all over Facebook. And it's like, the thing is, do you not allow it to be sold, or do you let the suckers get suckered? You know what I mean? Because it's still your money, your choice.
Right, because they paid for their ad spot or whatever.
Exactly. And they do have the product. It may be shit, but if you buy it, it's now your shit. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. It's now your shit. So, Carlos, what do you think?
Have you ever bought anything through Facebook?
Or the internet that you're like, what the hell? This is not what I thought it was going to be.
I kind of, I was searching for weights as well. It was a deal that also seemed too good to be true, but I'm like, whatever, I might give it a shot. And I bought it through PayPal. But weights, it took like maybe 6 weeks. Weights never showed up. You know what showed up? A mask, an N95 mask from China.
How long ago was this?
Oh, this is last summer.
So you see, what they did was they were trying to tell you don't need to work out, you need to stay safe.
No, they were trying to use their broken English, like, oh, he want weight? You wait long time.
Not even that. You know what they thought? Send him a mask to go to the gym. So
right.
But luckily, I paid through PayPal, and they worked with me, and I got my money back.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so you got a free mask.
Nice.
Absolutely.
I see.
How much were the weights? It was like a adjustable dumbbell type of thing, or like a set?
No, apparently it was a full set. The bar, everything, full set.
How much?
$250.
Oh, yeah, that's too good to be true. That's too good to be true.
What's funny is that I even told my wife, I'm like, this is too good to be true, but you know what? I'm gonna dive in and see what happens.
Nah, it's too good to be true. That's like the guy with the hands on his shoulders buying long sleeve shirts.
Could you imagine him with like customer service? I did not buy $600 worth of cufflinks. I got no cuffs, motherfuckers. Why would I buy these cufflinks? I got no cuffs.
Right? All right. Well, there we go, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Nerds Talking, the podcast with Carlos, Johnny, and I'm Lafayette. So for Johnny,
see ya.
For Carlos,
bye-bye. And if it looks too good to be true, it is.
There you go. We'll see you next time here on Nerds Talking the Podcast.